Let me do some housekeeping first while you're letting people in. Everyone remember the speaker view on your Zoom settings, the top right-hand corner of your screen. So if you'd like to tune everyone out and just focus in on the speaker, that's the way to do it. And a gallery view, of course, lets you see everyone. The chat function is there to talk to everyone. And the private chat is where you can just send a message individually to one person. We're actually going to be using that private chat through the meeting today, so make sure you know how to use that. All right, Addeline, are we ready with that bell? Happy Monday, everyone. So good to see you here. The Rotary Club of Harrisburg, club number 23 in all the world. Welcome to our year in review meeting. We'll talk more about that as the meeting goes along. We'll start our meeting today with our invocation with Mr. Doug Piper.
Lord, I thank you for the Rotary Club. I thank you for the leadership and the people who come up to the plate. We are so blessed with Addeline and her responsibilities. We are blessed with President James Good. We are blessed to have 41 committees to run the Rotary Club. We try to be truthful. We try to be fair to all concerned. We try to build goodwill and better friendships. We try to be beneficial to all concerned. God bless our Rotary Club and its ideals to service above self. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Doug. Addeline, what's on tap for our song this morning?
R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is known from land and sea. From north to south, from east to west, he profits most who serves the best. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary.
Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Rotary four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Just two brief announcements today. Sorry, Andy, we're down to two. Thank you to Mike Jagger for taking minutes in today's meeting. And also a great big thank you, as always, to our corporate members who do so much to support our good work in the community. We appreciate you more than you will ever know. So we have a mini classification talk today. Kris Pedaprolu. I have been getting to know this young man over the past month and a half or so, and he's a great person to know, and I'm glad to introduce him to our club here today. Kris, take a few minutes for your mini classification talk.
Thank you, James. Pablo Picasso once said, "The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away." My dear brothers and sisters of Rotary, thank you for the opportunity to be amongst all you wonderful people here. I'm here to give my classification speech, which is to talk about my background. Now, I can tell you about my 5-year-old daughter or my 6-year-old son, my beautiful wife, Patty, my achievements as a software engineer, or my adventures as an investor, among other things. But I won't. I thought it would be far more interesting to talk about what motivates me, my purpose, why I do what I do. Back in 2013, on a fine summer day, a miracle happened in my family. My son, my firstborn, came into this world. Tears rolled down my cheeks, holding this tiny little piece of life in my hands. Couldn't stop thinking of the innumerable possibilities the world has to offer for this beautiful being. A few years later, just before his 6th birthday, my family and I went on a camping trip to Hickory Run State Park near Pocono, Pennsylvania. My son and I were swinging on a hammock, gazing up the deep blue sky by the side of a campfire. We were having a conversation about his upcoming birthday party. With my heart full of love, I said to my son something I have said to him a zillion times before. Son, I love you all the way to the moon and back. Expecting him to say what he always said back to me. Me too, Daddy. I love you even more. But this time, he looked at me quizzically and asked me a question that changed my life. He said, Daddy, would you have loved me the same even if I were not your son? That was deep. Daddy, would you have loved me the same even if I were not your son? Days passed. I was immersed in my day-to-day life, but the question kept coming back to me, kept nagging me until I asked myself, what is the difference between my son and the sons of each and every parent? What is the difference between my daughter and the daughters of the world? What is the difference between my life and life of the people across the planet? We may live in different locations, honor different traditions, but there is not much that truly separates us. And suddenly, all the statistics I have been hearing all my life became real people living real lives just like mine. The statistics like, globally, 10% of the world is still living in extreme poverty. Every 1,000 children born, 39 die before they turn 5 years old. These statistics were no longer numbers, but were now made of fathers, sons, daughters, and families just like mine. I asked myself, what do they need to make a decent living without putting themselves in the harm's way? Of all the tools at our disposal, perhaps microcredit is the single largest anti-poverty tool known to mankind. We as a generation, with our communication networks, technology, automation, are at the brink of greatest possibility, the possibility that never existed ever before in the history of mankind. Of all the gadgets that exist, we humans are still the most sophisticated gadgets on the planet. With our tools, technology, knowledge, and our iron will, we can achieve anything we desire. It's my personal mission to nurture life around the world with some TLC, technology, love, and creative financing. It's my passion, it's my resolve to spread my sail, to reawaken people who help themselves, who unite to make mighty miracles for their families and gold mines for their communities, so they feel alive of their supreme existence and create a life where they feel fulfilled, inspired, and empowered. As a new Rotarian, I look forward to meeting every one of you, learning why you do what you do, learn from your experiences, and paying back to the community in whichever way I can. Thank you, and please call me Kris. Over to you, James.
Thank you so much, Kris. Welcome to our club. It's so good to have you here, and we are looking forward to getting to know you as the years go by.
Thank you, James.
Well, again, it's our year in review, and we are going to try something just a little different today. Did I say that it was our year in review meeting today. Taking time to celebrate our accomplishments is important for three main reasons. First, as human beings, we have been endowed with a need to periodically pause, to reflect on our labor, to think about our work, and to call it good. Second, when we formally document our accomplishments, we affirm that our actions are actually fulfilling our mission. And finally, our stories make the world a better place by inspiring others and ourselves to continue creating more stories just like these. So it's the Rotary Club of Harrisburg 2019-2020 Year in Review. In today's presentation, I'll be referencing as many stories as I could find of the things we accomplished as a club throughout the past 12 months. It will be fast-paced today and high level, but together we will celebrate our accomplishments. We are a club with 161 members, 38 committees, depending how you count, and one Rotary vision of service above self, fellowship, friendship, goodwill, and doing good in the world. Paul Harris, the eponymous founder of Rotary's Paul Harris Society, penned these words in his autobiography. Perhaps dreaming is not so bad if one dreams good dreams and makes them come true. When you have a dream, well, that's when you start experiencing feelings, I think. Things like anticipation, joy, and sometimes even frustration. Anticipation as the dream begins to form, joy as the dream is fulfilled and comes true, and frustration if things don't go the way you had planned. This business of dreaming good dreams and then working to make them come true is the thing that connects 1.2 million Rotarians all around the world with each other and with the people we serve. And it is this business of working hard to make good dreams come true that inspires and connects us right here in the Rotary Club of Harrisburg. Through fellowship, networking, projects, initiatives, and fundraising, Rotary connects the world. Now, before we move to the rest of today's program, I'd like to share just a piece of my Rotary story with you. I became a Rotarian in the spring of, or in September, I should say, of 2011. 2.5 years later, I found myself in Haiti with these people. We were in Haiti to install biosand filters into Haitian homes because the Haitians were dying from things like typhoid fever and cholera. They had those kinds of problems because their water was contaminated. We were also making new friends. It was on this trip, one evening, sitting next to a Haitian man, that I heard two of the most powerful words ever spoken. And I'm going to leave that thought with you as we move through today's presentation. But if you think that you know those two words, what those two words were that I heard from that Haitian man, then I want you to go to the chat function and send me a private message. When we get to the end of the meeting today, I will look to see who has private messaged me. The first 5 people who send me the correct message, the words I heard from that Haitian man, will receive a beautiful Rotary mug. So it's our year in review, and we have a lot of ground to cover. Let's get right to it. I did say, I think there were 38 committees. I'm not sure, I may have told Doug there were 41. You're allowed to get up and dance. Thirty-eight committees, but it takes everyone doing a little bit of something to make a story like ours flow smoothly and continue to work. When you study our committee structure carefully, you'll find that every committee really falls into one of 7 avenues of service or lanes of service. And we won't take time here to talk about that, but just wanted to share that so that you would see there was actually a method to the madness. It does take someone very important to hold all of this together, and Addeline does a great job. We appreciate all that she's done over the past year. Let's give a hand to Addeline. If you need anything ever, send Addeline an email. Now, I think I mentioned, yes, our board is really set up so that different members of the board each have some leadership responsibility in each of those 7 areas. And it would not be, a presentation like this one would not be complete unless we took some time to actually peek in on those board members. Trying to figure it out. Not sure what that look is all about. Keeping a smile. And sending a message to Mike. So our board meets monthly and again, really helps to keep the Rotary ship on track. Let's hear it for all of our board members and the service they've given to our club over the past 12 months. So I said we'd have time to highlight a few committees, and again, we just don't have time to do all 38, but we'll do the Dominican Dental Clinic. I believe we've been involved with the Dominican Dental Clinic for more than 25 years. The video clip that's coming up really kind of encompasses pictures and attempts to look in on the Dominican Dental Clinic story from November of 2019.
Uh-oh, it looks like James froze up, but it looks like Jonathan's on it. Charlie, do you want to start talking first?
Yeah, so good afternoon, everybody. This, James put together some of the pictures from our dental trip last year in November. It was a great trip, an amazing experience. It was mine and my wife's first ever mission trip, so we definitely came back changed because of it. As a club and with the dentist and the students that were involved, we treated over 400 children. And these are kids that otherwise wouldn't ever have any kind of dental care. So, you know, that experience, just to see, you know, these kids come in suffering with pain because of needing extraction or any kind of other treatment. And then in some cases, you know, seeing kids just go through the pain process of getting the extraction and then hugging their dentist or the dental student at the end was just like priceless. You know, that was it was such a neat deal. You know, we're still trying to see what happens this year because of Corona. The trip is set out to November. There's still some time between now and November, but we're just kind of playing it by ear and seeing what happens there. But I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the club for your participation in this. It truly is making a difference, and really we can't wait to go back.
All right, let's hear for Charlie. Well, how about we go next to Brad Gephardt to talk a little bit about YCDT. Are you ready, Brad? Would you be able to talk for a little bit?
Sure. I can definitely use up some of the time. Well, the YCDT, as everyone hopefully knows, is a program that's called the Youth Community Development Team. It incorporates about 3 high schools, John Harris High School, the SciTech High School, and Bishop McDevitt. We're trying to work with Stilton this next year. We've got a great team, Andy Phillips and Jillian Byerly, Travis DiNicola, of course, Marion Alexander, and Nancy Venner. We are all working on a monthly basis to bring the kids together. They learn about philanthropy. They learn about the issues and problems facing our community. They work together to come to consensus and decide on a problem that they want to get involved with and they want to help solve. That includes areas such as mental health and the arts, education, pre-education, like preschool, and then just this last year, the opioid crisis. And then what they will do is raise money, both individually from family and friends, and then of course from the Rotary, and we thank all the Rotarians who donate to the YCDT every year. And then they will allocate that money. So as you know, this year, the Burns Educational Center received their money and is going to be doing something with the opioid issue this year. So we'll start back up in August, recruiting kids. Most of them, they're juniors and seniors who participate, and a lot of the juniors will come back as seniors to participate and act as mentors to the juniors. So we usually have about 30 kids. We this year meet at the MCA over at Camp Curtin, provide them lunch, education, information, and get them to sort of take ownership of the entire process. So it's a good way to engage high school students and turn them into future philanthropists and fundraisers and donors. I'm always impressed with how well the kids participate and engage. So is there anything else, Ms. Addeline, you'd like me to talk about the YCDT?
You did such a great job. Thank you so much. Let's hear for Brad.
And Brad is also frozen. It's a great day.
All right. Well, we work on that. Let's hear from Andy Rebuck about fundraising. Andy, are you there?
Hey, everybody. Good to see y'all. Addeline, I was thinking I was going to update the greenhouse project. Am I going to update on fundraising?
I would love to hear all about the greenhouse projects.
I love that. Well, the greenhouse project is exciting. And, you know, you got to remember, first of all, the project started in President Sam's year, which seems like a long time ago, but a group of us were invited to City Hall, and they were talking about they want to restore this 1929 greenhouse in the surrounding area in Reservoir Park. And, you know, it was a great opportunity. We knew it right away. It was right up the club's alley of how, you know, we could use our big heart of service for the community. So the next thing that happened was President Joyce, she led the charge this year to secure a matching district grant. So we dedicated $5,000 to secure 4 green circle garden planters, and they provide the ADA accessible raised garden beds. And we all know this pickle of a virus, the shutdown, has delayed the actual installation of the beds. But I don't know, pretty soon, really soon, we're going to have a chance. We're going to go visit the greenhouse. We're going to see the work completed and maybe even get our hands dirty. But, you know, the greenhouse project is all about our club. It's all about the willingness and the ability of our club to help the city restore this diamond. It is going to be so special. So thanks to all the members who generously support our local foundation as well as the RI Foundation, and that's really where the sources of the funds. So back to you, and thanks everybody for your support of the Greenhouse Project.
Thank you so much. All right, James, are you back in?
I
There
believe
he
I'm
is.
back in.
All right.
We do that every so often just to make sure we don't get too comfortable in what we're doing. So thanks, Brad, and thanks, Andy, for doing that. The Pancake Breakfast really is our signature fundraiser throughout the year. And the money that we raise over at the Pancake Breakfast really does 2 things. It helps support the Harrisburg City Schools Foundation's work with displaced students, and it also funds our scholarship program. So the next video clip will share highlights from this past year's Pancake Breakfast, we think. Marion Alexander, wherever you're at, that sure looks like fun.
It sure is fun. I love all those happy, smiling faces of fellow Rotarians. And this year at the Pancake Breakfast, we had over 75 members who helped us and joined us on that Saturday morning at John Harris Cafeteria High School. It was great, and we raised almost $30,000, and we had attendance of almost 1,500 people. And because of some of the Rotarians who are unable to give their money or to attend, they have given back their tickets, and we had over 19 nonprofits who were able to use those tickets, which enabled more people to attend than we've had in a long time. So it was a great morning and a great feeling of camaraderie and doing good for the community, as well as raising the funds, which went back to the 2 projects. Next year, you're going to have to, or this year, I should say, we need to stay tuned, because at this point, we are not sure about the school schedule and what we're doing, but we're going to do something. So stay tuned, and we hope that you all will be excited and want to sign up. Thanks.
Thank you, Marion. And whatever we do, it will be fun for sure. We want to take just a minute or so to highlight, we'll take little snippets of as many different committee projects as we could find. And as the tape rolls, I'll see if I can bring the sound down just a little bit. So many good things going on right here in the Rotary Club of Harrisburg. So service on a Monday was one of those things that we got started a couple of years ago when we were unable to meet at the Hilton for lunch. We decided it would be a good idea to head out into the community. The video clip coming up next here really has pictures of us working on a dictionary project there in a service on a Monday event. We were joined by some young people from the Nativity School who are part of the Early Act program. So if you see some faces you don't usually see, that's where they came from. Where did that come from? Sue Ward Diorio, are you out there on the call somewhere today?
I'm here, James.
That sure looked like a lot of fun.
We had a great year with Service on a Monday. It's so much fun to, instead of going to the Hilton, go out into the community as a group and help folks in the community. This past year, you'll see from all the pictures, we prepped dictionaries, we made care packages for hospice, and we packed food for the food bank.
A lot of good stuff.
What I love about Service on a Monday is we have great attendance. Everyone is so enthusiastic, and it just feels really good to be all together and helping the community. There's just such a really nice vibe. So I thank everyone for coming out to them, and we'll have more to come in the fall.
Yeah, and thank you for all of the ongoing work that you do heading that up. I understand that you're actually looking for a few people on the committee that helps to plan those events. So if anyone, would like to get involved in helping plan local service project events like that, see Sue and, fill out the resume and see if you meet the qualifications, right, for that committee.
Yes,
Thanks
we'd
again.
love to have committee members. Thank you, James.
Absolutely. So the Rotary Youth Exchange is a program that builds peace around the world, one young person at a time. Students who participate in the program learn a new language, discover another culture, and they truly become global citizens. And, Rotarians that get involved in the program have a lot of fun, and they get to meet some young people from other countries. They form friendships that many times go on for years and years in the future. The final video clip that we'll view here today takes a look at some highlights of this year's youth exchange, pictures some of the students that came into our country from abroad, and some of our students that left, as well as some Rotarians right here in our club who helped make it happen. Jill Tenney chairs our Youth Exchange Committee. Jill, that looks like a really rewarding project.
Can you hear me okay? Yes, it is. I can't say enough about it. It's a year-long event. I wouldn't even call it an event, a year-long activity of kids constantly coming and going and being selected and being prepared to go abroad. This year obviously was extraordinary with the coronavirus and the cancellation of the program early, and all programs for the upcoming school year have been suspended, so there will be no students going in or out next year, unfortunately. However, hopefully all those students who had been planning to go out this year will get the chance to go out next year. We'll have a double class next year. Just a couple of things to think about. And when I watch all these other committees, 3 ways that I would invite you to engage with Youth Exchange. One is consider attending some of our Youth Exchange events, particularly in January when the outbound students find out what countries they're going to be assigned to. That's a hugely exciting evening and a very proud moment, especially for us, for the Harrisburg Club, when our students find out. That's in January. Another way I would think, some of the committees, I would love to see these exchange students that are coming in really engage with some of the other committees here. Pancake Breakfast, I would love to see our exchange students flipping pancakes and helping there, or service on a Monday as opposed to just coming and sitting in a meeting. I'd love to see them out doing community service in the community. Even YCDT would love to get them involved in those things as well. So if you're part of a committee, please think about the exchange students that we bring in and see if there's any way to incorporate. Finally, let's help recruit. Any of you guys have grandchildren or children of high school age that you would think that would like to go out? Come talk to us. We would love to send your children and grandchildren out for a year of exchange. Obviously not this year, but next year. But all that starts in November. So in November is when we're going to start doing the applications and interviewing and getting ready for 2021. And also think about being a host family. With a double class coming in next year, we're going to need host families on both the East Shore and the West Shore. If you've got young children at home or high school, and if it's just you at home, please consider opening your home to an exchange student in 21-22. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, Jill. Great initiative and project and ongoing relationship building kind of thing to be involved with. So we appreciate you and all that you've been doing there. So we were Rotary Club of Harrisburg here, club number 23. We were rocking and rolling this year, and then the COVID-19 pandemic hit. But in spite of the challenge, I am so excited to report, and we know, share together, that the Rotary Club of Harrisburg pivoted quickly and effectively. Our program committee did so much amazing work in helping to slide from in-person speakers to virtual speakers. And our public relations committee also started up a social media campaign. And I just have a funny feeling that a few of those things will, stay on. Money that we otherwise spent on lunches at the Hilton has been donated to a number of local charities. And we know that we were effective in making those donations because of emails like this one that we've received. Thank you, Will Everhart, for forwarding that email, where the Salvation Army wrote in and just talked about how they were able to stay open and continue to serve the community during that pandemic. So Rotary Club of 23, Rotary Club of Harrisburg, club number 23 in all the world. I don't know how to say thank you enough for all that you've done throughout the past year. But it's at this place, at this juncture here, that we leave our year in review. Because today we find ourselves living in a world where people continue to face the kinds of challenges that Rotarians are famous for helping people to overcome. And I would submit to you this morning that, like never before, our world needs us to keep the Rotary engine running. It's my conviction that service, fellowship, friendship, and goodwill, and doing good in the world are things that will never go out of style. Now, some people might say that my conviction is just a dream. Some might even think that I'm a little crazy. But perhaps dreaming is not so bad if one dreams good dreams and then works really hard to make them come true. Rotary Club of Harrisburg, club number 23 in all the world. Again, please accept my heartfelt thank you for working so hard in the past 12 months to make so many dreams come true. Give yourselves a hand, right? If you can hear me, give yourselves a hand. Remember those two words that I referenced earlier? Thank you. Now we have a little logistical problem here because partway through this presentation, my computer froze. So anyone that was sending me a private message, as I ask you to do, we'll have to go back and find that. Either that or I'll be needing to send out a lot of mugs. Let's do it like this. Everybody hit the private chat function right now, and the first 5 people to send me that private message, thank you, I will send you a mug. And while those are coming in, again, it's been the Rotary Club of Harrisburg 2019-2020 year in review. A couple of things to remember. We don't have a meeting next week. It's July 4th weekend. So have a happy and safe July 4th. Join us by Zoom, same time, same station, on Monday, July 13th, for the changing of the guard, where I get officially sworn in as president. And we'll begin talking about other projects and action steps that our club can be taking in a pandemic kind of world. For those of you that are on the board, we have a board meeting as well on Monday, July 13th. But thank you again for being here today. Thank you for all you do. I love you all, appreciate you. Make it a safe, happy, great Rotary week.